All right. Let's see who all jumps on here. My first live stream, guys. So bear with. I do have some questions and stuff questions that I want to get answered or want to answer for you guys that I've had asked over the years. So we'll do that. Just give a few minutes here. All right, well, I'm going to jump right into it. All right. Whoa. Okay, well, we're going to jump right into this, guys. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, shoot up a comment or whatever. I've never done this before, so we're gonna see how this goes. Hopefully it goes well. All right, so the big thing is for me is I really like actually, let me start here. Let me start with why I started this whole channel anyways. Some people know this already. I think it's actually I think it's really funny. So a lot of people, especially in adventure channels, right, and off-road channels and build channels and all these things, right, all the car channels really, they have a lot of they kind of all center around the same vehicles, especially the off-road community. Nothing wrong with that. It's because they work, you know. There's a reason. Lots of off-road support, all of those things. So to me, I'm like, okay, me and my personality, I'm like, I gotta go against the grain a little bit, right? So I'm like, okay, what's gonna piss a lot of people off and no one's ever done before, or very, very few have ever done? So I could have done a Tacoma, I could have done a Tundra, some kind of Jeep, a Land Cruiser, you know, I mean, there's so many options for off-road stuff. So for me, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a Honda Ridgeline. That's what I'm gonna do. And the reason being is because no one's ever done that. So I saw a mock-up one time of a Honda Ridgeline with a solid axle. And I was like, no way, that's rad, right? And I don't know why, it's so odd looking that it was cool. So anyways, I've always had an idea to have a Honda Ridgeline and make it more off-road capable, right? So my very first videos when it comes to off-roading was a Honda Ridgeline, and it was just the build process of it. And I couldn't find any technology of it. I couldn't find any support really when it comes to any support with the motor work, any support with the like transmission stuff, engine stuff, interior. Like there was like nothing there. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start, like, I need this information, so I gotta figure it out. And there was like 1 or 2 videos maybe on it. So I just started making videos for it. And I wanted to see how far a Honda Ridgeline could go, right? So that's how I started the off-road part of the channel. My very first videos, I think I have like 4 or 5 videos prior to that, that were all motorcycles, right? And bullet bikes. I had a CBR 1000 at the time, and I wanted to have a motorcycle channel, right? And I thought it was cool. It was fun. It was awesome. But I actually ended up getting hit on my motorcycle, so that was not good. I don't really remember anything from it, but I was in the hospital for a couple days, had quite a few injuries, so I ended up getting rid of that. obviously, but I fixed it. Like I built it. I bought a new frame, tore it all the way down, and rebuilt it, right? And then I ended up selling it. And then I got the Honda Ridgeline and wanted to start doing adventures and things like that. And then I got another motorcycle, ended up totaling that when I wrecked it. And so I was like, you know what? I probably should be done with two wheels for a minute. So, so what I did from that point is then I started this Honda Ridgeline channel and really started going off in that direction. And it's been fun. It has been a blast, especially when people see a Honda Ridgeline on the trail. They're like, what? Like, that makes no sense. So that was really cool. People's reactions are really awesome. I mean, even when it was just a stock Ridgeline with some bigger tires, right, or a little bit more of a lift, people were like, "Why? What are you doing?" Right, and it was just awesome. So I really like that shock and awe. And as I went, I really wanted to do something no one else has really done. So to kind of wrap up that whole thing, I know that was kind of all over the place a little bit, but to kind of wrap up that whole thing was I started in motorcycles, and I decided to steer away from that because I was getting injured. So I went with four wheels instead, and I wanted to do something that would stick out. So I went with a Honda Ridgeline. And people's reactions on the trails after my very first video, you can actually see that video. My buddy Travis, he has a Jeep. He's the one that actually got me the mall rated sticker that I put on my on the truck. So so he came with me on that first video, and we toasted the transmission fluid. Like, it overheated so bad, like training light came on, everything. But nonetheless, like, it did some impressive stuff. So after that, he was like, okay, I got to get you a mall rated sticker because, I mean, this was actually pretty impressive. So and that was down in St. George, Utah, down in Sand Hollow area. We took the Ridgeline out. And that was kind of the start of everything. And where I really thought, hey, you know what? This would actually be pretty fun to do. And ever since then, people have just been like, what is that thing when it's on the trail? So why I started it really was because I just wanted to do something that I enjoyed. Like, I enjoy off-roading. I really enjoy building stuff and putting things together, upgrading things. I've always enjoyed that kind of thing. So that's why I started it. And I like editing video. I always have. I like filming. I'm not necessarily that good at it. I don't have fancy equipment. You know, I don't have fancy equipment at all. I use an iPhone 13 Pro Max. I use a GoPro and DJI Mini 2 as a drone. Those are the three cameras I use. That's it. So I don't have any fancy equipment. I don't have any like knowledge in cameras and all of that stuff. And how I edit my videos is just on my phone and on my iPad. Like, I don't have a desktop, nothing. So that's where, for me, I'm like, would I ever do that? Maybe. But I also kind of like the raw, real life type feeling that it gives recording with those less fancy cameras. You know, that's just me. I just like that kind of thing. To me, it feels more first person, more real, more like you're part of it. So anyways, I've always liked editing. And when I discovered that, I was in high school, long time ago. But I was really into snowboarding, and we filmed a couple things for class, and me and a couple friends made a snowboard video, and ever since then, I've just really enjoyed editing, like filming, planning the shots, you know, the production side of things, and then making the video. I've always thought it was cool. Always thought it was great. And so that's where I'm like, if I could do that and combine off-roading, I think it would be really fun. Why not? Especially when people don't really know what the heck a Honda Ridgeline is all about, right? But I will say this. Honda Ridgelines are not set up to do what I've been trying to do with it. They're just not. But that's also the point, right? Is to do something that's not really made to do that. So I've really enjoyed it. It's great to see the shock and awe. There's actually a lot of people that support it. I've been surprised with how many few people actually dislike it. I've expected way more people to hate it than do. There's a lot of internet, Twitter fingers, right, that dislike it, but that's fine. When anybody sees it in person, it is very rare that someone doesn't like it. But they're either way, whether they like it or not, they're like shocked and just like their emotions spike when they see it, which is awesome. And so that's basically, so anyways, I digress. Why I started was because I love editing, I love off-roading. I wanted to do something that not anybody has really ever done. And there wasn't any info on Honda Ridgeline stuff. And so it's been fun, it's been enjoyable, I've enjoyed it. I've got some support from some good friends and things and some other channels and whatnot through the process. So it's been a blast. And just so y'all know, I started this channel, let's see, about 2 years ago. Well, like with the Honda stuff. I think it was like 4 or 5 months prior to that I actually uploaded my first video. So with the motorcycles. So I mean, it's been a slower process and with the channel, but it's been really fun. I've enjoyed it, and the whole point was not to just go full time and make money and do all this stuff. If it takes me that route, I'm all for it, right? So if you guys want to do that, feel free. I do have, just so you guys all do know, I do have merch, right? As you guys know, you can go to renegadeheadquarters.com for that. I actually started my apparel company or online apparel company or whatever before YouTube. I actually wanted to do that first, and then I started YouTube and realized that YouTube was actually taking off faster than apparel, and so I focused on doing YouTube so that I could actually tie the apparel to the channel. So that's always been fun for me, designing apparel and clothes and stuff. There's lots of stuff on there if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, so then there's Patreon and all those other things that help support the channel and all that. So if this channel ends up going that direction and like can support that, then I'm all for it, because I would love to get some Rockwell axles for this thing, some big 44, maybe even 50-inch tires for this thing. I'd like to make this thing ridiculous, right? But that takes time, money, and effort, right? And I don't make that much money yet. But that's the important thing, is that we're getting there. So it's one step at a time, because I know a lot of people have said, well, why don't you put 50-inch tires on? Why don't you do this? Why don't you add this? It's like, well, it's because I don't have that much money. Because let's just be real. Trucks are expensive. But it's been fun. So it's one step at a time. Right now, my focus is, the next thing I want to upgrade on the truck is definitely going to be the axles. Because if I can get the axles upgraded, preferably Rockwell 2.5-ton axles, I'll take 1 tons, right? But if I need to get at minimum 1 tons so they can be upgraded, and that way I'm able to actually get bigger tires, better wheels, and re-gear it. Once I have all that set, then I can start actually like doing a little bit more things to it, which will be really awesome. So that's one thing that I'm really excited about doing, is upgrading that stuff. Now, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I was reading over my stuff. But yeah, so the upgrades that I want to do, or that's like the first thing I want to do, I should say. And then the engine is the next thing, and getting that all like souped up. Like there's just so many options. There's so many things. And to be honest, I actually have a whole nother idea that I'm not going to talk about yet. I was about to. I'm not going to talk about that yet. A whole other idea, but I need another truck. I need another Ridgeline to be able to do it, but I think I can do it. And it's never been done. It has not been done yet. I've not been able to find one that's legitimately been done this way yet. So I'm looking for another truck, another Ridgeline to be able to do that. Yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to do that. Right now, what I'm doing is, just so you guys all know, so YouTube right now is part-time on the side, you know, what and trying to grow it and continue to go, right? So all the subscribers, I appreciate you guys, and everyone that buys merch and all that stuff, I appreciate you guys, all of you, because you help the channel continue. So if you guys continue to promote the channel, and even if you hate it and you're just like, dude, check out this moron, right? Send it, right? Totally down. But I appreciate you guys for that, because realistically, it's been pretty cool to watch the channel grow and the community grow, and it's felt really good to feel supported in something that's so out there that people don't typically like, right? So it's been pretty cool. So I appreciate you guys. But just so you guys all know, I do actually work for Alaska Backcountry Adventure Tours. They actually sponsored part of this build. They sponsored the truck that I appreciate it, Dakota. I appreciate that. The one thing is though, is Dan actually, the owner, my brother-in-law, he owns Alaska Backcountry Adventure Tours, and my sister, right? Him and Maddie, my sister, and they actually sponsored the truck, that 78 GMC that I dubbed the Prodigal Son. They actually bought that truck and were able to give that to me so that I could use that for the body swap and everything else. So that was really, really, really cool. For one, they didn't have to do that, right? But secondly, that was really awesome for them to do that. But I actually work for them. So I'm a tour guide here in Alaska, and we take people out on ATV tours, side-by-sides, and go out to Knik Glacier, which I have a couple videos of my truck going out there, right? And so I take people out there basically every day during the summer. And then I usually film in the evening. I usually hit some trails and whatnot. Sometimes, occasionally, I take a day off and I actually do a full trail and make a video and all that kind of stuff, right? But like the builds and the upgrades and all that stuff, that's all done after work. But yeah, so I work for them. So I'm like off-roading all day, every day, which is pretty freaking phenomenal. I will say it's pretty awesome. You meet so many cool people, and you know what's really, really awesome? I wish I remembered their names. Okay, that's one thing. If you ever meet me in person, you will know, and anyone that does actually know me knows I'm not really good at remembering names. I can remember faces pretty dang good, but names, that's a different story. But I actually met a few of the subscribers, a few of my fans on here in Alaska on tour, but they didn't know who I was. Like it was funny. I can't remember his name last year, but it was before I built Mr. Shonda, right? And I had Renegade, and we were talking, and we were chatting for a little bit while we were out in the wilderness of Alaska, and he was like, "Man, you look really familiar," you know, and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I don't, you know, cool." And so I didn't really know what to say, and he's like, and so I started talking just about him, and we started a conversation, and he was like, I told him eventually, you know, because he asked what I did. I told him, I was like, oh, well, I got a YouTube channel, online apparel, you know, and I do some things there, and just kind of having fun with it. And he was like, wait, what is your channel? And so I told him, oh, well, you know, Honda Ridgeline and this, that, and the other. He's like, dude, I subscribed to you. I totally know you. I was like, oh, that's so cool. So, you know, it's just cool because you get, you know, in this situation, you know, being a tour guide, you get to meet so many cool people. And I love that. I love meeting the cool people that just love life, that just want to experience life, especially off-roading, because I'm very passionate about that, right? this is one thing too, that as I just had a thought, so this is kind of a squirrel moment. One of the thoughts though is, when I started this channel, I had no idea what I was doing. I still have no idea what I'm doing, but I have a better idea of what I'm doing now. But I had no idea when I started. I didn't know how to film really anything. I didn't know what angles to film at. I didn't know how to post, how to edit, like nothing. I just decided to start doing it. And so, as a side note, I would encourage any of you that are like, well, I don't know what to do. I'm not sure what I should say or how to talk or whatever. Just be yourself. Just start. Why not, man? There's so many things out there. You might as well just do it. Because the worst thing that's going to happen is that you just decide not to do it after a little while. Okay, but if you like it, just keep doing it. I still learning how to do like the rear main seal video that I just posted up, that 3-part video that I posted up just this last 2 weeks or so. I had no idea how to do a rear main seal. You guys were like watching me learn. I would literally watch some YouTube videos and be like, gosh, I hope this is right. But that's part of why like in my video, I was like, I have like 1% faith and sure that it's not going to leak. It's because I had no idea what I was doing. I was trying to figure it out and kind of did it, but it was just one of those like, figured it out. So, it worked and it hasn't leaked, right? So I'm like excited, like, okay, I did something great. And I'm starting to watch more videos on different things that I want to learn about. And the more you do something that you don't know, the next thing that you don't know, you're less concerned that you can't figure it out. Does that make sense? So it's like you just gain a lot of confidence doing something you don't know how to do, but you try it, and even if it would have failed, like I would have known, okay, I probably would have learned what I did wrong along the way, right? So it's just one of those, like, that's what happens with that. And so anyways, start before you know, because you'll know once you start. Or you at least start knowing once you start. And, it's really cool that way. So it's been enjoyable and fun in that regard to do that. If any of you guys, by the way, if any of you guys on here have any questions for me, feel free. Because I wasn't planning on doing a really long live. This is my first time ever doing it, if you can't tell. So I just wanted to start doing it because I've never done this before. I have some bullet points that I'm reading out, and that's basically it. But other than that, if you guys have questions on anything, on how to do something or why I did something or whatever, then feel free to ask. But I appreciate you all being on here. That's cool. So I will say this though. Find something, like if you're going to start a channel, find something you're passionate about to do it, because it is actually pretty time consuming and pretty difficult to like really go, especially if you have like you're building some momentum and then you get tired and you take a little bit of a break and it starts like dying down a little bit. It's really hard to start again because you know exactly how hard it was to get there, right? So consistency is key, right? I've said that for years and years and years with other things, but consistency is definitely key. But find like-minded individuals. They don't necessarily have to like exactly what you like. There's a few people that I associate with, right, and learn from and talk to that like Fords and like Chevys and like Jeeps and all Toyotas, right? But they all like building stuff and building something that's unique to them, or helping someone with what they want help with, right? You just got to surround yourself with good people that are like-minded and in whatever niche you want to do, right? And that will help, right? Because you get to surround yourself with those people. So I'm not really sure if that answers a few of these. I hope that all went well. I actually have to update. I'll just update you guys live, right? So I drove. So my truck's not leaking, right? I'm excited about that. Very pumped. I drove to the gym yesterday, and when I was walking out of the gym, I was obviously looking for leaks because I'm paranoid about that. That is my pet peeve when it comes to engines and vehicles. Leaks drive me crazy, okay? I hate seeing oil or something else on the ground. Anyways, so I'm driving, or I'm going back out there to drive and to leave the gym, and there's a couple drops under my rear diff. And I was like, son of a gun, man. Like, what? So after this, I'm actually going to O'Reilly's to get the rear axle pinion gear. Rear axle pinion seal. Sorry. The pinion seal for the rear axle so that I can replace that tomorrow. And that'll be probably a shorter video because it's not that difficult of a job. I've looked up a couple videos, watched them. It actually looks very easy, which is good. Good for me. But I also have my buddy that's going to be coming over, that master mechanic that he's going to be helping. He'll probably be in the video a little bit. But he'll be coming over helping me out with that just to make sure that I don't mess it up. And so, because my big concern with that one is that I tightened the nut back on too tight and crush the bearings or bind the bearings up or something. So he's going to help me basically with that because I'm nervous that I'm going to break it. And I need it to work because my kids are coming up, so I need it to work and not leak. So, and just kind of segue a little bit about me. I guess I probably should have told you that at the beginning, but a little bit about me is I actually have 3 kids, and I have a 10-year-old, 8-year-old, and a 4-year-old, and they're riots, right? And I'm hoping to have them in 1 or 2 of my videos this summer. They love going off-roading, and they haven't been in my truck yet since it's been Mr. Shonda. They haven't been in it. So I'm really excited to get them in it and take them on an adventure. We actually have a trip planned with my dad and his cabin wagon. I actually have a video going to our cabin, or my dad's cabin. Was it last summer? Maybe it was the first summer up here. I don't know. I think it was a year ago. But we have a video with him, and he's got a Chevy S10 Blazer that he lifted and put 33s on. Like, it's a unique build because it's a 4-door Blazer and S10 Blazer, and he lifted it and all those things. So him and I are going to be taking a church group out to the Knik Glacier. And they got 4-wheelers and dirt bikes and all that stuff for the kids. And I'm going to take my kids out in my truck, as well as my dad's going to be taking his cabin wagon out there. And we're going to have tons of fun out there. So that's going to be amazing. And I believe that's June 10th that we're actually doing that. And so you could say within a week or so after that, I should have footage of that. And hopefully my kids will be in that. They love filming. They love being a part of it. It's been last year. I think it was last year. I actually took them off-road a little bit, and they were loving holding the GoPro and filming and doing all that. And so I have all that footage. Let me know if you guys think that would be a good idea, or you guys would like to see that adventure with the kids on the channel. If you guys would like to see that, let me know. Either shoot me a comment on this, or send me a message on Instagram, or comment on the other videos or whatever, and just let me know if you guys want to see more action, more trips with the kids and things like that, because I'm all down to get them involved, right? So, but guys, I'm gonna wrap this up, unless you have anything else you have questions about or anything. But I appreciate you guys being on, and first live stream, I guess it was a success. I don't know, I was on it. So I appreciate it, guys. Be sure, if you can, help support the channel, right? Share the channel with people. Like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, all that jazz, right? But most importantly, there is memberships on YouTube, actually, and I just started those the other day. So if that's something that you want to do to help support the channel, that would be awesome. I was also apparel. I really like the apparel. obviously because I designed it. I know, but I think that's a good reward, good way to support because you actually get something out of it. But then also on Patreon, there is as well. If you go on there and you support through that, then you actually will be getting some exclusive Patreon only apparel and like a mug and things like that that only Patreon users get, or supporters, patrons, whatever you call them. But only them will actually be getting those. So I appreciate it, guys. And yeah, we'll talk to y'all later. We'll see you on the next one.